With the new infamous Las Vegas GP happening very soon, there are a lot of articles going around about why this is going to be complete and utter chaos. I recently just made a video talking about the critical problems at what I think will be the biggest motorsport event, but there's more to speak about with this and why this could be a utterly chaotic race. Before I get into the big parts of the video, thank you so much. Please subscribe if you haven't. It would mean the world for me. Let's get started. Now, there are some things to talk about that could be a good thing going for this race, but a lot that is making this kind of look like it's going to just be a red flag fest. With the cold temperatures, at some point there was actually projected snow. I'm not joking about this. It is not the case anymore, thankfully. There has been snow before in Formula One. Not in the races, but it has been on the tracks. There are a couple of beautiful shots. They actually stopped a couple of test sessions, so it has been a thing of the past, but it's not been to this degree. This will be the coldest Grand Prix if the wind really hits it how it should. Now, I already put up a thing, but Canada was the coldest Grand Prix in the past before, and it's looking very closely to that type of weather. But with this track layout having, as what it is, new asphalt, it's going to be like literally sliding on ice. There's a whole interview that Christian Horner talked about it. Max just recently came out and said, when I played this in the F1 game, I was hitting the wall more than actually on track. So that is something to say. When you look at the layout, it's odd, but it's not odd because of how it's laid out with the straights. It's those weird corners and how you have to take them. You have to take them slowly. Tires are probably going to be torn up because of the sliding with the cars, so potentially even tire wear will be an issue here. It's going to make for a track where the teams that, I think Haas is going to have a good race here. Believe it or not, they're a team that can flick up their tires quickly, but also shred them quickly. But on a cold track, you don't have to worry about that as much. The sliding is okay. They're super fast in a straight line. Ferrari will be very strong here as well. It's going to be very difficult. Now, there are some preparations made to kind of ensure that we do have an okay Grand Prix. But with this practically ice fest, what are we expecting? Is it going to be another red flag fest like Australia was? It has the big possibility of doing that. So Australia had a whole bunch of red flags, a whole bunch of restarts. I think Las Vegas is going to be the same thing. And with the chance of rain, which seems like it's almost at 50%. It's currently at 40% on Friday for qualifying. That's going to be a tricky qualifying to get that right. With rain, let's say it falls on the track even for 3 minutes. That will be straight up ice over there because it'll be at about 40 degrees Fahrenheit, which is almost like 4 to 5 degrees Celsius. It's going to be slippery. It's going to be very hard for drivers to actually put in a great lap. Like I said, 2 out laps probably is going to be the case. But they are prepping with different tires to go there. Now, I don't know if they're prepping it to be for the actual tires for the wets, so maybe the inters and the actual wets themselves are maybe made differently. I don't think the C5 from C3 compounds are going to be much different, but Ross Brawn has said that they are changing up the tire compounds to make sure that this will be a safe event. So I guess some preparations, but then he also came out and said, we didn't expect this for Las Vegas. But to be fair, have you ever seen Las Vegas, or have you ever really heard about Las Vegas ever having any snow? It's not a common place to have cold weather, so I guess they weren't expecting it, but yet again, you decided to do it in November. This is in Abu Dhabi, where November is still hot there. But the preparations should help, as I said. There are some good things to note. As I said, the biggest thing that we can actually hope for is that the actual cars are going to be completely different on track. Turkey 2020 is your perfect example. It was a very cold Grand Prix and the weather conditions were very odd. It's actually how Lance got that pole position. Hamilton was out of place, Verstappen was out of place. Bottas couldn't drive even on the track. And guess what? That was a banger of a Grand Prix, and Turkey always provided. That track layout was actually even worn in a little bit, not too much because it kind of was a replacement for that year. But still, it provided very good racing. For this track, it's going to be experience, I think, here that's going to help you the most on how to be proficient on tires, but also just staying on track. That will be the very important part. I think the biggest winners here are going to be your Lewis Hamilton, your Fernando Alonso, and Max Verstappen. I think that those 3 guys are just going to come in with full out, knowing what to do in a track with such hard conditions. As I said, will this be chaos? I think we're incited for a pretty big chaotic race. Chaotic races make it fun though. I hope it provides. A lot of drivers are talking about how the track layout is really just built for the spectacle, even in the test runs, the actual cars themselves, like if you saw George Russell go down that straight, he was slipping. Actually, people are actually pulling up that clip now on Twitter and saying that this is like, oh, a test run that recently happened. No, it wasn't recent. It happened actually way before the Grand Prix. And to be fair, he was doing donuts, he was going for slides, he was trying to drift the car, and it kind of just got out of control with the temperatures. It wasn't even, actually it was pretty cold at that time, but even George said at the time period, he was like, oh, this is not good, it's going to be a tricky track, and he said it wasn't fun, but it should provide good racing, which is hopeful to say the least. And with the preparations that they've made for this real unusual circumstances that we're running into, that we have not ran into in a very long period of time. And I'm talking about literally since like 05, the temperatures have not been to this degree. But with the excitement of drivers, and in general, with actually people believing in it, you got Fred Vasseur believing that they're going to take care of the event and make it how it should be, this should provide still good racing. And at the end of the day, that is the most important part, that we get a good race at the end of us. But a spectacle and a race, that would be amazing, because before when they were here, when they tried providing a spectacle here, it wasn't amazing. It was far from that, and it was an utter failure because of the track layout, and also it just wasn't like a good spot to have it. It was in the parking lot of really what is essentially not a big part of the track. It was a little bit to the left of it. It wasn't a good combination. Now they've gone for something different. They kept the spectacle, they got the strip, they got it all, but they want the good racing. We will also get some more information from Andretti and Cadillac talking about with the whole entire GM situation, because GM has confirmed they only want to come in with Andretti, which I think is great. GM's great to our sport. It does seem like Formula One has some type of hatred towards Andretti. I hope that's not the case. We need Andretti. I mean, look at what Haas has been doing. We need a full-out American team. Imagine Andretti here at the Las Vegas Grand Prix. That would have been a spectacle for the American viewers to have a team that they believe in here, because that would be, to me, success in general. And it would be amazing to actually have a team that you can properly call an American team, because is Haas American? No, I mean, it's like a mix of the three. It's practically the sister Ferrari, even though how much more can you learn from the drivers when the cars aren't performing? So that's another thing to note for this. And I've seen a lot of people talk about it, so I thought, why not make a video on it, and why not talk to you guys, because everybody seems to have the same opinion on that this track isn't going to be good. You have your occasional people being pretty positive about it. I'm positive. I think it's going to be good. I hope it provides a spectacle as well as good racing, not just something out of the blue, you know, that's just going to be bad. So hopefully it provides for us. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below with the whole entire cold weather and really what the engineers are doing to prep these cars, because cooling will be non-existent here. You'll have the side pods. Maybe no side pods design actually would have been fire here, but we'll never have to know because we will never see those ever again. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. Please leave a like, subscribe. It would mean the world, and peace.